All right, GM everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Let's have a start with a round of updates from Beanstalk Farms. Guy, can we start with you?
Sure, happy to. I don't really have an incredible amount of news, but mostly been spending my time on making sure we have all our ducks in a row for both the Seraph BIP itself, as well as making sure Halborn has everything there on their end that they need in order to activate Seraph. And then also been spending some time on a Beanstalk year in review blog post of sorts that we're hoping to share in the next couple days.
Okay, and I understand there is going to be a year review article as well, Guy, that Beanstalk Farms is working on.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Sort of just going to be a timeline of sorts of everything that happened on the farm in 2022, some data on stats on all the different things that happened, and yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Seraph BIP is expected sometime soon as well.
Yes, good call. So the hope is to propose BIP 31, the budget BIP, BIP 32, the Seraph one, and the BFCP renewal proposal, hopefully tomorrow, all around the same time. That way, farmers only have to bust out their hardware all at once. So yeah, if we're able to propose it tomorrow, then it would end. All three of the voting periods would end a week from tomorrow, or January 6th, I think.
Okay, excellent. And they're all BIPs, correct? So they all will all require over 50%.
Not the BFCPC2. That one is 25%. But yes, on the other two BIPs, it would be 50% voting for would be required to pass.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Guy. Chad, do you want to give us maybe some updates on development on your end?
Sure. So a lot of things going on, really just a continuation of some of the stuff we talked about last week. So documentation continues to get written on the protocol side and on a number of other pieces of the system, like the subgraphs. So just really trying to make a good effort to have that documentation be really, really clean. And then working on a number of UI improvements. The pod market has been something that we're still working on in the background that we want to ship an update for soon. There's been some sort of internal problems getting that finished with some of the infrastructure, but getting close to having that done. And then aside from that, looking forward towards the next year in terms of hiring and growing the team and starting to roll out some of the components of Tractor and Wells primarily. So I've been spending some time thinking about how to tackle that process.
Okay, thank you, Chad. All right. Before maybe asking Publius for comments, Syncubate, did you want to talk or chat a little bit about the BOP and the update on there, or what's happening with it? It's okay if you don't want to, or you don't have an update as well.
Hey, Ma, do you hear me?
I hear you.
Great. Happy early New Year to everybody, and hope everybody had a nice holiday. Yeah, so as far as the BOP is concerned, the HATS finance team, my understanding is the ethical return contract is pretty much done from their end right now. So Publius commented, had some questions about it. I appreciate your feedback, and hopefully their clarity was helpful. They are available to support any testing or auditing related efforts after the new year. I presume with the holiday coming up, this probably will be revisited after the new year. So a lot of the HATS team is based in Israel, so time zone differences, just be mindful of that. They might, if you ask them a question, they might not get to it right away, but they're gonna be on top of it and available. So, and again, if you guys need anything from me, I'm happy to, do what I need to do to keep things moving. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Bit. All right, Publius. Any closing comments on your end? Maybe, what are you focused on right now? Are there any updates with Wells, and what can we expect maybe in the next, in the next year?
Wow, the next year is quite a long time. So, hopefully there's a lot of stuff to expect in the next year. I guess for now, mostly focused on, getting the Wells code ready. Would say that, kind of the core Wells functionality is, about ready for audit. Just need to, wrap up some documentation. On the audit front, kind of tractor, Wells, and a, new iteration of the root token that Root has been working on are all about ready for audit. So hopefully, those will get into the audit stream sometime soon. As believe there are some streams opening up. So definitely a lot of code being written across the backend, developer ecosystem. In addition to that, still kind of working on, a Publius thought piece that's, been in kind of draft for a while, and, look forward to sharing that with everyone in the upcoming week, hopefully, getting closer and closer every day to having that wrapped up. So kind of, collectively, a lot going on, and, really looking forward to, finally getting some markets spun up on top of Tractor, and, getting, the Wells code deployed, and, some Wells up on mainnet. Going to be, a lot of work between here and there, across the stack. And, really excited, to get some new code out there. Again, kind of also on the backend side, Breen is still chugging away at moving the withdrawal timer. Believe that, that's currently in audit, but there are a few changes that need to be made, and so I think that's about it.
Publius, maybe a question with regards to removing the withdrawal timer. How are we going to approach this with regards to seniors distribution? I remember when we discussed it maybe some time ago, we had a few options or a few ways to tackle this. What is the one or way that we are looking into right now?
So the primary problem with removing the withdrawal timer altogether is that it introduces a kind of exploit vector where someone could receive Beans seniorage in a risk-free manner. And the way they would do this is deposit Beans, call the sunrise function, and withdraw Beans. Because withdrawing Beans is an autonomous action, they would, potentially you could even wrap in a buy and sell at the beginning and end there. But basically, someone would be able to receive some portion of Beans seniorage, given that they deposit, have stock, Beans are minted, and they receive earned Beans because they are a stockholder, which they then immediately withdraw. So they receive Beans seniorage when they held stock for a total of 0 blocks. As they atomically deposited, earned Beans, withdrew, and also could, add a buy and sell on both ends. So kind of alongside the removing of the withdrawal timer, and why it is a substantial piece of work, is a slight refactor of the earned Bean reward mechanism. And the way that change is being implemented is that instead of all of the earned Beans being distributed when the sunrise occurs, the earned Beans are now distributed linearly throughout the course of the season over an hour. So, Beanstalk mints 1,000 Beans when a sunrise call is called. Over the course of the next hour, those 1,000 Beans will be distributed linearly. So after 30 minutes, 500 earned Beans will have been distributed. After an hour, 1,000 will have. So now in the case where someone deposits, calls a sunrise function, and withdraws, they will have received 0 earned beans because 0 seconds would have passed since the sunrise occurred, and 0 over 3,600 times 1,000 is 0. So now someone would actually have to have stock exposure for a period of time in order to receive any earned beans.
Okay, I think this is clear. So there is no minimum amount of time required for a depositor to be in the silo to receive bean seniorage, but you would only receive an amount proportional to basically the time that you have spent during that season.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you, Publius, for the explanation, and look forward, to seeing that proposal or improvement. Okay, I'm going to give it maybe a minute or two, or however time we need. See if other folks have anything that they would like to discuss before maybe we end this meeting. And as Guy says, GM, Mr. Mochi, nice to see you. Okay, with that, I think we can end this call. Thank you all for joining us. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week.